Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to have a closer look at the budget-friendly Sony WF-C500 true wireless buds. In order to get the price lower, Sony had to omit some of the brand's trademark features such as active noise cancellation, and you might be wondering how that affects the overall user experience. There are some questions to answer, so let's get right into the details. It's obvious at first look that the Sony WF-C500 has inherited most of its design traits from the WF-1000XM4. It has a very similar form factor, it is only slightly smaller, but of course all the plastics they used feel a bit cheaper too. The buds weigh in at around 5.2 grams each, which makes them almost 2 grams lighter than the XM4. And they are more comfortable as well. The XM4 has never been my favorite in terms of comfort, and the C500 is not super comfy either, but I still found them significantly better than the XM4 in the long run. The XM4 has a little bump at the base of the speaker housing, which creates some unwanted pressure right at the outer edge of my ear canals. The C500 has a rather flat profile, which makes them a better fit for me, but I feel like there is still room for improvement there. But again, it's just my ears and you might have a completely different experience with either of the buds. The fit is secure enough for walking around in town, but I had some issues with the right bud during running as it kept coming loose. So even though these buds come with an IPX4 rating, they might not be the best option for exercise. But they are perfect for casual, everyday use, unless you want to use your earbuds in very noisy places, because we get no active noise cancellation with the C500. However, the passive noise isolation is quite effective, so that can come in handy for commuting or in an office environment. Onto the case, it's kind of cheap looking and of course it's made entirely from plastic. It's compact and lightweight enough to be pocketable, but my favorite part about the case is the lid, which does not only open and close firmly, but it also comes to a hard stop when fully open, so it does not flap around, which always deserves a thumbs up from me. The buds are securely held inside by magnets, but they are easy to take out thanks to the plenty space around them. The lid is semi-transparent, which makes the battery status LEDs visible, which again can be useful at times. The case does not come with wireless charging, which makes sense from a cost-cutting point of view, but there are other earbuds in this price range that can offer this feature. All we get with the Sony is a USB Type-C charging port on the back and the USB-C cable in the box. The buds can last up to 10 hours on their own, and you can get one full charge out of the case itself, which makes the total battery life 20 hours. It's an average number, nothing too special about it. 10-minute quick charging gives you up to an hour of extra playtime, which is again good to have but nothing out of the ordinary. There is one more thing that is worth mentioning before we move on to connection, and that is the fact that the packaging does not contain any plastic whatsoever, which reduces the environmental impact of the earbuds. That's good thinking from Sony, and I'm glad they did not give this one up just to save a few cents here and there during the manufacturing process. Next up is the wireless connection. The WF-C500 comes with Bluetooth 5.0 on board, along with support for SBC and AAC. So we don't get LDAC support, which is Sony's own high-res audio codec. That's one of the corners that had to be cut in order to keep the price under $100. Signals are solid and pairing is quick with both Android and iOS devices, but fast pairing is only supported by Android. I had no lip-sync issues when watching movies and videos, but the gaming performance is only average thanks to the lack of a low latency mode. Sony could have easily added a game mode switch to their smartphone app, but they decided not to. However, we get some other Bluetooth-related settings, as you can choose between sound quality and connection stability in case you run into any issues with the wireless connection between your source device and the C500. You can also use the earbuds independently from each other, as single bud mode is supported, however multi-point use is not on offer here.
With a single omnidirectional mic on each bud, you cannot expect to have the highest level of clarity ever, but you can have a decent phone call experience in a quiet environment. As soon as we throw some ambient chatter in the mix, you can expect the intelligibility of your voice to suffer a bit, but I would say the C500 still delivers an acceptable performance even in a noisy environment such as a coffee shop.
Onto the controls, we get an actual physical button on each bud, and the functionality of these buttons includes play, pause, jumping to the next track or back to the previous one, adjusting volume up and down. We can also activate the voice assistant on our device, and we can manage incoming phone calls too. And while the functionality is great, I'm not quite happy with how the buttons work. You can get a tactile feedback, but only if you press the button right in the middle. The minute you touch them slightly off center, you barely get any feedback, which sometimes makes me wonder whether I actually hit the button or not. The buttons will still register the pressing action most of the time, and they react within a fraction of a second, but I still find using them less than ideal. You can get used to it after a while, but I've used more precise and tactile buttons before. You can also get used to the unusual layout of the controls, as you can find all the volume controls on the left bud and all the track controls are on the right bud. It has a bit of a learning curve to it, and you cannot personalize the functions either, even though Sony has one of the greatest smartphone apps in the industry. But in this case, they decided to take away most of the custom options, including the button control remapping. And this is another area where the low-budget approach of the C500 rears its head again, as we only get a limited set of features in the Sony headphones app. The only one left is the EQ feature with both presets and manual settings. Other than that, you can select between connection stability and sound quality, and you can turn the DSEE sound enhancer feature on and off. Of course, you can find user guides in the app, and you can also update the software of your earbuds, but these are basic functions every smartphone app can offer. The 360 reality audio setup makes more sense with over-ear headphones in my opinion, but you can run the optimizer feature with the C500 regardless. The C500 doesn't have in-ear sensors for autoplay pause, nor does it come with any sort of active noise cancellation or a transparency mode for that matter, so of course you won't find settings for those missing features in the app either. Onto the sound quality of the buds, we can find a single 5.8mm driver in the C500s, which is not the biggest I've seen, but Sony made sure that they got the most out of it in order to deliver a dynamic and pleasant sound. We get an impactful bass, even if it doesn't have as much extension and energy to please the most extreme bass heads out there, but I personally prefer this balanced and mostly controlled low end. The buds can give me plenty bass without any excessive bloat or muddiness in the sound. The mid-range is open and forward with loads of details and life in the vocals. Treble is smooth and detailed. I found no signs of sibilance or other issues. Instruments come through with clarity, but some air around the individual elements could help with opening up the soundstage a little more. The imaging is well focused, but I miss a bit of a spaciousness from the presentation. And let's not forget the EQ in the app, which can come in handy if you find yourselves longing for some change in the sound. Now, when I started thinking about which earbuds I should compare the C500 with, the first one that popped into mind was the Google Pixel Buds A series. Both buds are very similarly spec'd, and their official retail price is the exact same here in Europe, which means they cost €99 each. Both buds lack features such as ANC or wireless charging, both buds use the same Bluetooth version, and they offer the same audio codecs with practically the same connection features including single bud mode. The Pixel A buds are smaller and lighter, which makes them much more comfortable to me. Both earbuds are IPX4 rated, but the Google buds come with these small integrated ear fins, which makes them more suitable for workouts in my opinion. I like the Google case better, and it's also a bit smaller, making it more portable as well, but the Sony buds are easier to grab from their case. The Pixel A buds use touch controls, which are easier to use, and we get in-ear sensors for autoplay pause too. However, we cannot control volume from the Pixel A buds. The Google buds have better Android integration with some extra features, but most, if not all of those will not work on iOS, as there is no separate smartphone app you could use on an iPhone. The functionality of the Sony headphones app is the exact same on Android and iOS. Neither of the buds have active noise cancellation, but the C500 can provide you with a more effective passive noise isolation. The single charge battery life of the C500 is almost double of what the Google buds can deliver. The sound is a bit more open, airy and spacious on the Pixel A series, but the Sony buds can go louder, have more punch in the bass, and they also have a more balanced sound signature overall. Both are quite enjoyable to listen to in the long run, but the Sony app can offer EQ settings in its app as well. So everyone should take their pick, as honestly I cannot really tell which one to choose. I'm leaning towards the Sony for its sound quality and app support, but the size, comfort and fit might be more important to you, in which case you should get the Google Pixel earbuds. And to wrap things up, the Sony WF-C500 definitely feels and looks like a more affordable version of the WF-1000XM4, which is arguably one of the best premium earbuds available on the market as of making this video. But the under $100 segment of the true wireless earbuds market exploded last year with great offerings from all kinds of manufacturers, so Sony had to make sure they have something to compete in that arena too. And in order to be able to fit the buds in this price bracket, Sony had to leave out some not so cost-friendly features such as active noise cancelling, wireless charging, LDAC support or in-ear sensors, and they rather focused their efforts on what really matters to most people, and that's sound quality and battery life. And even though there are earbuds in this price range that might offer more features, and there are some other buds that cost less while having the same set of features, I believe that the WF-C500 got the basic functions right, and I can only recommend them to anyone who is looking for earbuds that sound great and can last a full day without offering any extra features. And this was my review of the Sony WF-C500 True Wireless Earbuds. If you liked the video, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you want to see similar content in the future. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.